everyone. Welcome to a quick shot of romance. I am Becky, and joining me for this episode is Heather. Hi, Heather.
Hey, Becky.
So on this episode of A Quick Shot of Romance, we are reviewing Matching All the Way by Veronica Eden. Matching All the Way is a full-length, standalone hockey romance set in the same world as the Heston U Hotshot series. This series can be read in any order. You and I read Iced Out.
Correct.
And fell in love with Easton and Heston U.
Yes. And I feel like Veronica's writing style, to be fair.
Yeah. Her writing style is fantastic. I really did enjoy Iced Out. It was a top read of 2023 for myself.
Yep.
So we'll link the synopsis of this book in our on-the-shelf show notes at buzzingaboutromance.com. She has a novella called Trick Play that's out that we haven't really discussed. I probably should do a Should You Read It on it. And that is, we actually see that hero play hockey in this book because Matching All the Way takes place previous to Iced Out in the timeline.
Yes. Yeah. I like the order she gave it to us in. I mean, just because I really like the characters. So I like that we kind of got to see Easton before we got to see him in a different way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, we kind of see where he came from. Like, he comes off as such a goofball and such a cocky, like, guy in this book, and a flirt. But then when we see him in Iced Out, he's this great swoony hero that's matured because it's like 2 or 3 years down the road.
Yeah, you could tell he definitely came into himself and like maybe had somebody check him and be like, dude, you're not as great as you think you are.
Right. So Matching All the Way released December 18th of 2023. It's a friends to lovers secret relationship, slightly forbidden because it's brother's best friend, but it's also her dad is his boss.
Yeah.
Close proximity, small town, sports romance. He's a coach. And I just really loved all the tropes in this book. There's also some phenomenal neurological representation in this book.
Yes.
So the ADHD representation in this book was amazing.
It was like spot on. I mean, for me, it was spot on.
I saw my girl child in it. I
was like reading me. Like, I was like, oh yeah, I do that. Oh yeah, my husband does that. Oh, like, and so I was reading some pieces to my husband and he's like, oh yeah, you definitely do that. Like, my husband is forever reminding me to eat lunch. Like on the weekends, he's like, have you eaten? You're kind of grumpy. And I was like, oh no, I haven't eaten. He's like, it's 3:00. You probably should eat something.
Yeah. No. The only reason I remember half the time to eat lunch is because Mike comes home at noon every day. And it's a good sign that, hey, stop what you're doing and eat some lunch. So this series is the Heston U universe. This is a complete standalone. It is dual first person. Put out percentage was 43% with mutual masturbation. This was also the slowest burn of slowest burns of slowest burns.
Yes. And to be fair, you and I are not slow burn fans. We're sort of like 5 alarm fires. We want all of the heat, like now.
Well, I mean, there's absolute chemistry between these two characters.
Oh, for sure.
And the longing and the pining in this book. 10 out of 10. But for them to take the step to say, hey, let's do more than just this flirty masturbation thing takes a minute.
And it makes sense. Like sometimes, like I feel like some authors are like to write slow burns just to write them. And they don't always make sense. This makes sense for the characters very much so.
Yeah. There is no third act breakup in this book, which I know made you super phenomenally happy.
Very much.
So our hero is Cole. Cole
Oh,
Cole is returning to the town um, after being away for the last 10 years.
hmm
He left, went to college on the West Coast, played some minor sports, kind of graduated college, floated around, was coaching at some camps.
hmm
Not sure what he wanted his life to look like.
Right.
Has this opportunity. Eve is our heroine. Her dad is the
Mhm.
coach for the Heston U team. And Eve, Cole is brought in to replace a coach that had to suddenly retire.
Yep.
Um, and Cole actually grew up in the town and was Eve's brother's best friend. And also, is there a book about Eve's brother and his wife?
I don't know, but I need that because they own a brewery.
They're adorable together.
And yeah, he is like this gruff, like hockey player. They play on like this men's league, which is a hoot. Like all pieces of this book were written so well and they all just tie together so perfectly. But like he is so in love with his wife, and I love a hero that like is obsessed with his wife.
Yeah. Well, and Cole is obsessed with Eve and has been. He's
Oh yeah.
always kind of adored her,
hmm
protective, but also secretly crushed on her, but
hmm
knew that she was kind of off limits because of his friendship and now because it's his boss's daughter.
hmm
Um, but Cole himself is a little bit of a lost soul.
Yeah, he kind of needed some direction. And I feel like he sort of was known as like, this golden retriever frat boy puppy who kind of just, caused a little bit of ruckus, was never super serious about something. So in turn, nobody really took him seriously. And he was kind of known for that in high school and then a little bit in college. So when he moved away and then he comes back and he's like, no, I'm a grown up,
Yeah.
and he needs people to one take a chance on him and like give him credit for being an adult.
Well, and so the way that these two connect was actually really phenomenal because you
Yeah.
can't have a meet cute if you've known someone your whole life, right?
Right.
But they have a meet cute. Now, I should give the background a little bit. Eve has just suffered a breakup.
Yeah.
Her long-term yearish boyfriend has broken up with her over text message. Before we get to
Yeah.
the meet cute, let's talk about Eve a little bit because Eve is the one with ADHD.
Yes.
And it kind of surfaces in the way she goes from project to project in
Mhm.
artistic and creative outlets. Like one week it's stickers and the next week it's crochet or sewing, and can't
Yeah.
necessarily focus on one thing. She works as a bartender at the local college hangout pub kind of place.
Yeah.
Um, but she's directionless herself. She has this desire that she makes these resin earrings and sticker packs, and she'd really, really, really like to do that full time, to have a boutique.
hmm
Um, but she doesn't always feel like she has the direction. I mean, she has the skill to create the things, but to organize herself enough to sell them.
Yeah. So she's very talented. She's sort of like a hobby hopper, I guess is what like she crochets, she does all these things and she flits to different projects, which is a trait of ADHD. So that is done very well. But she's super passionate, and this making earrings and stuff has been a long-term thing. And again, I think she has people around her who will support her. She just needed to sort of have enough faith in herself. And then once she did have enough faith in herself, her support system was right there, I
Yeah.
felt like.
I think everyone showed up for her and her
Mhm.
friends. She has a great group of friends that
Yeah.
she hosts a once a month, every couple of weeks crafting party.
Yeah.
And I loved that. They were so great together and they love all the things she does. it's the organization. And one of the things that Veronica Eden did really well here, which I knew was a sign of ADHD, is self-awareness in space, like running into door frames
Oh yeah.
and tripping over things and stuff. Like,
Mhm.
she got that spot on.
There were so many because ADHD, I mean, this is where my nerd professional self is going to come out. ADHD looks so different in girls and boys.
Yeah.
And girls like girls will be like, "Oh, they're clumsy or they're chatty."
Yeah.
Like they don't know how to not fill that dead air, so they just start filling it because it's like anxiety ridden
Yeah.
stuff for them.
It's uncomfortable. Uncomfortable silence is
Mhm.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, duh.
So let's get to their meet cute, because this was a re-meet cute, which Veronica Eden, this was genius.
Very smart.
So because Eve has been broken up with and Cole's back new in town, separately, they both have joined this dating app.
Hmm. Like a
And
Tinder or
yeah,
something.
and it connects you to someone who's nearby.
Yeah,
And they keep connecting
yeah.
and then unconnecting.
Yeah, but then they start like on the app, you can like individually chat or whatever. And so they're like individually, they're like, okay, we're not chatting with each other. Remember, we're not talking about this. But then they keep matching, which is, where matching all the way comes in.
It was so cute. It was so cute.
Oh, yeah.
Um, so I think that one of the things that is Veronica Eden's signature is acts of small kindness by her
Hmm.
heroes to her heroines. And it makes
Yeah.
me wonder if acts of service might be Eve's own love language. Like, that's what fills her bowl, is
Hmm.
when someone does little acts of service for her.
Yeah.
Because we saw it in Iced Out, but in this one, there is a scene where he picks Eve up from the bar. She's worked, right? I think she's
Yeah.
worked something. And he's
Yeah.
driving her home. And as soon as she hits the car, she falls asleep.
Yeah.
And
Girl's exhausted.
he just keeps driving around because even if she's sleeping, he wants to spend time with her.
Yeah. And she wakes up and she's like, why do you wake me up? And he's like, I know you needed to sleep and I just wanted you to sleep.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he is all the green flags. Like, I don't even know how to say it, but like, scoop this man up and like clone him because he's so sweet and he dirty talks.
Oh,
I
the
don't know
dirty
what else
talk.
to tell you.
Those texts between the two of them.
Oh my
And
gosh.
then when they're like FaceTiming and he's like on the road trip with the team,
Yeah.
I'm like, good night.
It's perfection. He is, I don't want to ever say, I mean, because he's a fictional man. He's fictionally perfect.
He is fictionally
Fictionally
perfect. He is
perfect.
he is everything that you hope your partner in life is. Like, he's
Yeah.
just so swoony and cares so much. And so in the book, Eve buys this old beat up camper that she wants to turn into a kind of a mobile storefront for her
Yeah,
business
to go like craft share, like,
to
flea markets,
markets and
craft
stuff.
fairs and stuff like that. Yeah.
And she's really trying, and he's helping, the family's helping. The whole time, Eve and Cole think that they're keeping this big secret
Mm-hmm.
that they're not together.
Yeah.
Um, and he's like helping her redo all of this, and it's just so sweet.
So that was like you and I had not talked about it because we try not to do that. But I was like, gosh, why did they keep it a secret for so long? And then I think you had said to me there, you're like, honestly, I love the reason that they did it was because it was theirs. Like it was their relationship and no one else's. And when I reframed it to that, I was like, you're right. Like they were protecting their relationship and making it stronger before they shared it with the world.
Because if you think about it, once you go Instagram official or once you go family official, everybody has an opinion on how things are
Mhm.
supposed to look, what dates are supposed to be like. They have opinions on how you spend your time with that person. And it creates all this extra baggage and stress. And for someone
Yep.
like Eve, who has anxiety and feels and internalizes these moments, the stress of worrying about her dad or her brother and how they'll react, or making sure that she's good enough to be with Cole, it was never in the forefront. It was, we accept and love where each of us are at, and this is what it is. Now, I do think Cole wanted to come out sooner.
Yes, I think so too. Like
He,
more of like because I respect your dad so much, I don't want to like,
yeah.
and I respect you. Like I respect you. I don't want this to be a secret.
Well, he wanted to kiss her. He wants to hold her hand at the 4th of July. And
Hmm.
this starts at Christmas and it ends in like October or November is when this book ends. So it
Yep.
goes on for almost a year. Um, but it wasn't really Christmas themed. Like you don't get tons of Christmas. Um,
No,
you just get snapshots of their life and times and moments as they're coming together as a couple. And I did like that.
I did too. And I really, there's a black lab in this book. Um, and I'm just going to tell you, I'm a black lab girly.
Are you?
Like they are my dog growing up was a black lab and his name was Puck. Like not for the Romeo and Juliet reference, for the fact that I was a hockey person and
Yeah,
his name was Puck.
that's so cute. Yeah, I can't remember what they named the dog, but they adopt
Bauer.
Bauer and they adopt the dog together, but he stays with Cole.
Mhm.
It's just super sweet. This book was really great. I cannot recommend it enough.
Same. I just do yourself a favor.
If you haven't read Veronica Eden, this is your sign.
Mhm.
Go read Veronica Eden.
And now, like, she shared with us that she has three books in this series out right now. So that should tide you over a while till we get the next one.
For a minute. Yeah. Yeah.
And her covers. Okay. Just follow her on Instagram because she has a true gift when it comes to the
Well,
whole
the
aesthetic.
main cover is illustrated and has the people have faces.
She's just really talented in that area.
It is
Okay.
not a blob.
No,
It's
her covers, cute, adorable. I love them. So just take a look.
um anyway, Heather, thank you so much for reading Matching All the Way and chatting about it with me.
Anytime. Thank you.
Until next time, everyone. Happy reading.
Find us on Instagram at Buzzing About Romance or on Twitter at Buzzing Romance. If you like the podcast, please leave a review. If you'd like to support us directly, join the Bookcase and Coffee Patreon and receive exclusive content only available to Patreon members. Check out bookcaseandcoffee.com for our on-the-shelf show notes.